Is that an aggressive hunter from Orange? I'm guessing so. Explosive Trap's not a card I expect to see all the time, but I guess you could play it in mid-range if you're running into Paladin a lot, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Wow. That Druid at starting and looks quite good.
Yeah, I mean, you got a Wild Growth, and then you're curving into
Yeah.
a Shade right away. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that coin wild growth's so good when you have the shade to follow it up. No turn 4 just yet, but there's a lot of things that he can pick up.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, if you don't have a Shade very often, you wait for turn 3, for turn 2 to Wild Growth without the coin. But when you have the Shade, you have to play it immediately. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
That's looking like a strong start.
Yeah, for sure. He could even like innervate the shade right now. I actually kind of would like to see that, because then he can wild growth on the next turn.
Yeah.
And then it curves out so nicely that he will still have the coin available, so it could be like turn 1 shade, turn 2 wild growth, turn 3
Drill the Claw.
potentially. And there's a lot of 5 drops that he can pick up to have a good turn 5 too.
Yeah, it really depends on what his deck contains, because we've seen a lot of Druids try to modify their list a bit. There's been a more ramp on ladder, right? Like, we've seen some decks running no combos in Druid, and it's been doing pretty well on ladder. I'm not too sure about tournaments, but...
Yeah. Oh, he does go for the innervate shade. I really like it. Shade is a card, obviously, that you want to get out as fast as you can, because of the ability that it grows every single turn. So the earlier you get it, the bigger it can get. And with that coin and with the wild growth, he has really good follow-up to it too.
Yeah, the only problematic thing, I guess, about an early Shade is if when you're running into a freezing trap, like, that always feels super bad. But if you can just wait for a Force of Nature or a point where, like, you don't have to trigger the freezing trap necessarily unless you're under a lot of pressure, so you can sometimes wait it out.
Yeah, you can quite often just wait with the shade, and by the turn when you have the mana to cast the Force of Nature, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be absolutely massive, so that's pretty good.
Wow.
He does have the option to just hero power here if he wants to like clear both of those minions, and yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, because you can always coin out the Keeper of the Grove on the next turn, so you can just use it as a removal piece, and you can take care of the Mad Scientist with a Shade. Like, what is he going to do here? He needs Knife Juggler with a 1-drop, or he needs to use a Quick Shot, or a Bow, bow charge on this, and that's usually okay for you.
That's a tough spot for Orange, to be honest. Like, what are you even... Like, the Juggler doesn't feel that great.
Oh man, it's going to get punished so hard.
Oh wow.
ShtanUdachi with the perfect answer.
Wow, and there's the Keeper. That Shade. It took out the 1 minion, and now it's gonna... Well, actually, there's the trap up, right? So he's gonna wait, right? Sure. Yeah. It should be a freezing, so I think he wants to bounce the Keeper of the Grove instead of the Shade, for sure.
Yeah, it might be explosive because we saw it in Orange's hand, but from ShtanUdachi's perspective, there's no way this is an explosive. It's so rare that it is, right?
Yeah, it looks like it would be freezing, but...
Yeah.
These explosives.
Surprise!
Yep, still a good call to wait with the Shade. If he attacked with the Shade last turn, it would have just died to the explosives.
Yeah, and good luck, Orange. I mean, he's gonna need an Unleash the Hounds, I feel, here to really nail this board down a bit.
That hand is so rough. Arcane, it's way too early for Arcane Columns. You don't want to be ramping up the Druid just yet.
Oh man. You can't go face. Trading doesn't feel good. What do you even want to do here?
I don't know, man. That Shade it's looking so tough to deal with right now. Like, do you want to trade into it? No, you don't. Do you want to kill command it? No, you don't.
I might though. I might consider it.
Yeah.
I think if I'm Orange, I might just think about weaving in that hero power with the kill command. I mean, you can still play the Shredders for value.
Yeah, I guess this sets up the board a little bit better, because if he went with for the kill command, yeah, he could have gotten 4 damage to face. But this leaves him with a 2-drop and the Shredder. Well, if he went for the kill command, he would have only had a Shredder.
Alright, Orange having to handle a Sylvanas. He snap played that Sylvanas, didn't even think twice. He's like, the earlier I get it out, the faster I either bait the owl or get immediate value out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good here.
Wow, the Smork is real.
Oh yeah.
And here we go. Hunters being hunters.
Oh, it's 12 to face with the hero power. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what's really a little bit annoying too for Shtan is he can't actually trade away that Sylvanas unless he kills it himself by top decking a keeper.
Ooh,
well,
that works. He can still Shredder.
He can still Shredder. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow, this is almost unfair.
I think you go for it. Or is there like a play with?
I mean, you could win with combo next turn, so maybe you don't. I don't know.
So maybe it doesn't still. Just like How worried are you about your life total? Because if there is 8 damage coming to face, then you would die. Like he has the option to just keep her here, and maybe like pile the Shredder, and leave that 6 power on the board. But then if there's something like a kill command quick shot, that would be exactly lethal with hero power.
All right, so just because there's a chance that his opponent has, you know, the exact cards he needs to win, you have to take that into consideration, because taking the 2 damage to face from the abusive could be a bit of an issue. I mean, you'd be on 13. You could taunt up afterwards, but face damage will punish you.
I think the steal on the Shredder might have been like, I don't know. This makes sense too. Like, there's not enough damage, even with that. If there was a kill command quick shot hero body, that would be 1 off. So it does make sense that he did like this. I would have considered stealing the Shredder, because with the combo, I think, and with the both Keeper and the Shredder on board,
he would have had lethal with it, yeah.
Yeah, he would have had the 22 damage required. But there could have been things that went wrong. Like, let's say there's another explosive, then you have to like trigger it first. Or would it still? I think it still would have actually been lethal.
Yeah, he would have had exact lethal that way, and if he had the Savage Roar with the Keeper, he would have been 2 over.
Right.
I mean, he would have been fine overall.
But a good play here. I mean, what can really go wrong? I guess something like Arcane Golem into
abusive into quick shot.
Into quick shot would be exactly lethal.
Yeah, that would be an issue. But again, it's such a marginal scenario. You really can't afford playing around stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
No, I think that's just game. I mean, in order to survive, he needs to like play a scientist and kill command the scientist or something for a freezing.
Right, just together with the other trap to negate some of the damage output.
There's no way you can do it. You gotta play to win, and the only way to do that is to like maybe clear the Shredder, but you gotta risk the combo. You just gotta take the chance. Alright. StarLadder does have it, so game 1 going to the Russian player.
Well, that went by really quick. I didn't expect the Druid to take the game so quickly. I mean, he just played on curve pretty nicely, ended up with a perfect timing on combo. I don't think he missed a single drop, basically. Like, everything kind of went his way.
Yeah, that was really, like, it looked like an easy game for him, but he did have a nice starting hand. He had the inner weight shade, he had the wild growth, even the Keeper, like, it was, everything went ShtanUdachi's way that game.
Yep, so it turns out ShtanUdachi gets an early lead. Now, we have to assume both players are playing Patron, right? Or do you think one of them would have what it takes to bring a Control Warrior?
I think it's possible. Personally, I think that there's a lot of potential in the Dragon Warrior to be top tier. We saw, like, Colento was playing it in packs, and I think he did quite well with it. I didn't see all the games, but I saw some of his games, and it looked like it could be like top tier deck. I'm not sure if the Dragon Warrior lists are quite refined just yet. But,
we've seen a lot of, like, there's been a lot of iterations on it. I know Koyuki made a taunt dragon deck, which was really amusing with Bolster. And there was there's been a few dragon decks. The problem I guess they struggle with is, if you're playing dragon, do you prefer playing control over it? It's always like a debate of which one you want.
I tried something a little bit like that, and for me it didn't work out so well, but I didn't spend very much time trying to like get the list exactly right. So
yeah, let's wait for Fibonacci. Fibonacci's gonna come up with one of them maybe one day.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet hand from Orange. No traps drawn, and he has a nice curve to follow that scientist with. That's like one of the best possible hands.
Yeah, he can play can play a drop every single turn and just go for turn 4 Shredder. Doesn't get much better than this, and the Mad Scientist is out.
Yeah, like the only way for that to get better is to have a Juggler, but there was the Dark Bomb from StarUdachi, and obviously like the Scientist worked out better because of that, because the Juggler would have been bombed just the same, and no trap would have been happening that time.
Alright, so ShtanUdachi is not life tapping at all, and for a Handlock not to life tap means his Mountain Giants and Twilight Drakes are obviously not nearly as good as they could be. Yeah. So we'll have to see if that ends up working out for him, because a lot of Handlock players end up tapping no matter what on the first 2 turns, and then they try to get the Hellfires to get themselves in a good position.
I've experimented a lot with these type of lines of play as Handlock against Hunter, and to be honest, I haven't been that successful. I think the games that I usually win are from just getting those swing Molten Giant turns and just like fearlessly tapping on the early turns. But I'm interested to see if this works out, because ShtanUdachi is should be a very good player, and yeah, Let's see. Let's just see.
So the biggest threat that ShtanUdachi could have up against Orange here is a Shadow Flame. Like if he had a Shadow Flame, he would be somewhat fine. This is a bit awkward. I mean, he could go for like Dark Bomb to kill a Shredder, try to find a coil.
Yeah. I think he has to go for the Dark Bomb. There's only one Taunt Giver in it.
Oh, that's sweet. Well,
yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a way to like kill it off just yet. But there's like some potential that he can use it in his favor.
Well, there's a 100% chance that ShtanUdachi can go double Molten Sun Fury. I think that's definitely happening this turn based on the amount of incoming damage.
Right.
I'd be surprised.
Like, Orange doesn't have a single quick shot or kill command, so I think he has to be a little bit worried about the Moltens. It's like this weird situation. Like if you have kill command, if you have quick shot, if you have those cards, like maybe Iron Beak Owl or the Hunter's Mark. In those cases, it's so much easier to just go for face and not really care about the Moltens.
So if he doesn't attack here, ShtanUdachi can only play one Molten, which is exactly what Orange is hoping for. If he attacked with one of the other two attack minions, there was only one Molten, and he didn't even want to deal with a single one. So
yeah, very smart play from Orange there.
Right.
Just looking at his hand, and now this, how much is that? That is a lot of damage. 14 with Arcane Golem and Beast Sergeant. That's another 7 plus 2 from the hero bar. I believe it's 1 damage.
One off lethal, but that doesn't matter though, because the hero power will finish off ShtanUdachi unless he picks up another heal bot or an Earthring Farseer right off the top.
I would totally go for it. I mean, what can go wrong? He just played a heal bot. I guess like double Molten Sun Fury last heal bot, but that's so unlikely. I would probably just like pull the trigger. But I mean, even by playing a high main, what can go wrong? You're still winning by so much. So I don't know.
Alright, he's making trades a little bit, so he's quote-unquote missing out on 4 damage. Is he just gonna keep playing it slowly until he picks up some of the phase damage?
I think that's fine. And that's not like the Big Game Hunter was already played, so having the high main with the Leok is not a problem in this situation. Sometimes you actually have to consider it. That your high main, okay, it's gonna be 7 attack, so it could be a Big Game Hunter's target, but it's not possible because of the big game already being played.
Alright, so that should be it. I think Orange is just gonna go through this very easily. That's a non-issue for him. He's just got all the damage in the world.
Yeah. He can abuse the Ghoul and attack it into one of the... or he can do it whatever way he wants.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter.
I think it... Does this matter at all? Because I think the Arcane Golem with the double abusive just gives him lethal no matter what.
Yeah, there was like so many ways to do it.
Oh, that was a quick game. It turns out that Orange actually reverse killing ShtanUdachi. Like the first 2 games took exactly what, 2 minutes each? That's pretty rare.
Wow, that's so fast. Pretty one-sided game there, but Hunter is the favorite against Warlock by a wide margin.
Right, we were talking about that yesterday with Tannen, where we didn't see a single Warlock being played yesterday, and I think the reason is people expect Hunter, and we also saw very few Hunters because Warlocks weren't showing up. So Hunter was popular, and then Warlock was getting punished, so they started stopping, and then Hunters went away because there were no Warlocks. So it's kind of like, when one is there, the other one comes up.
But yeah, with that line of play, by going for those early taunts and like with the Watcher and not tapping, I just like I've tried it so many times and it's just I never win with that. So I don't know. It's like the tapping is the high risk, high reward play, and I think it might be better in that matchup as the Warlock player to just keep tapping on turn 2 and 3. Juggler you have to Dark Bomb, but like the rest of the minions, I think you can just ignore.
So Mage, I find interesting that we see 3 of them today. You know, Orange is the first one to play it, but we haven't seen a single Mage, I think, over the past 3 days of the group stage. Do you think that's like reasonable to expect, or is it just because? Is there a reason not to bring Mage specifically?
I don't know. I think it's really cool to see. It looks like he's playing tempo Mage, and that's something that I haven't seen in competitive play all that much before. I'm not sure like how well it does against like the average lineup of decks, I guess.
Yeah, we've seen Tom, I think, play it against Trump and did amazingly well, of course, with some decent spell-sling RNG. I wonder against Control Warrior how good it really is. Overall, I have to say it's probably better than bad. But oh wow, Orange with the card drop pickup and a Force of Nature for ShtanUdachi.
Force of Nature. Oh.
Yeah, forcing a coin Deathbite here as well.
Yeah, that's StarSeries is still like very well keeping up with what's going on the board because the Mage. Oh, he had an effigy. I completely missed it. Oh,
nice 3-drop. That ought to be one of the worst ones, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 3-2 for 3.
Oh man, those Flamewaker missiles or Archmage Antonidas missiles. Pretty good.
That's a lot of damage. So Unstable Portal, Flamewaker next turn probably makes a bit of sense, and you keep the missiles for Archmage?
Yeah.
Alright.
New Death Spite.
Oh man, look at it's almost too tempting to just go for Flamewaker double missiles. Look at that burst.
Yeah, it is.
It's like 10 damage right away. The threat is so huge.
Yeah, it actually is 10 damage. But he only has 1 fireball in his hand, so he doesn't have the follow-up damage to like end the game with that. It's a bit too risky.
Right, because if a Belcher falls down and you don't find a Frostbolt off the top, you can't really win. I mean, you assume he's going to tank another 2 from the Flamewaker by using the axe. So that would be effectively 12 damage, so he'd be down to 7. And if he doesn't armor up, then you win with Fireball. But if he ends up going for an armor up play with even an Acolyte playing an Armor Smith, then suddenly your lethal is looking very unlikely. Oh man, he's going for it!
He's going for it.
There we go. Let's see how many Arcane missiles ShtanUdachi can actually cope with before he starts being depressed.
I mean, that is pretty efficient, I gotta say. Like 1 mana, 5 damage, twice.
Yeah,
and having that minion on board.
Oh, great pickup here for ShtanUdachi. He gets an Execute.
Oh yeah.
Would you face tank that, or are you afraid of Frostbolt Fireball?
I think you gotta be pretty scared at this point. The another thing is that, to consider is that he doesn't really have like a play if he doesn't go for that. Because if you kill that with the weapon, what do you do then? Like Tempo Cruel Taskmaster or something? Yeah. I think it's just to execute that. You got the force of nature to clear the next minion if it's something scary.
Yeah, I'm also really scared if I'm the warrior that like my opponent going for 10 damage here means he's got a lot of burn in his hand. That's how I read this. So just that tell, that threat alone, that's a damn good thing he did that, because that top deck would have killed him.
The game would have been over if he didn't go for that Cruel Taskmaster execute right there.
Oh man. I mean, Orange has got the curve. We're looking at Dr. Boom next turn, putting a huge threat on ShtanUdachi.
Oh man.
Good thing he's got that Shield Maiden, because otherwise this could just be a blowout.
This would be over. But still, like, how do you deal with all this? I
think it's pretty sweet. You look at the fact that he has Shield Maiden, and then he can use Force of Nature to just trigger get Dr. Boom down to 1.
That might work out.
Yeah. Maybe. It depends on the boom bots, man. This is really dangerous territory.
Yeah. I mean, if the boom bots hit for... How much do they... They have to hit for 3 damage on the face. If he's going for the Force of Nature. Because with the Fireball Frostbolt being, that's 10. So he would have to put him down to 10. Oh man, that's like pretty high likelihood.
Yeah, there's a really good chance that Sean is just dead. So there's a chance for him that he just goes for Force of Nature, right? And then he uses the trees as possible targets for the boombots. So he trades the Shield Maiden away in the process. And that would give him a chance maybe not to get too punished. Like, you attack with a Shield Maiden, then you play Force of Nature. You attack face... Well, you just attack face with Deathbite. And then if 2 of your trees die, the last one can still finish up Dr. Boom. That would probably be fine.
Okay. Kinda like it.
Yeah. There's so many risks you have to take, but it's consistent with the fact that he thought he was dead if he left the Flamewaker and tanked it.
Like, nothing is perfect, but there's a lot of things that kind of might be good enough.
This could be game. Let's see if he goes down to 10 health.
Orange 3 damage. 3 damage on face.
And that's game!
Oh,
Orange with the lethal right there.
Sports.
Yeah, turns out Spellslinger is a pretty good card.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like that 3 damage, it was kind of expected with that play. Like it wasn't like Orange got super lucky getting the 3 on face.
Yeah.
That's like the average result. 2.5 on the Shield Maiden and that much on face. I think it was 50-50.
So ShtanUdachi really had to go for the play where he let the Treants tank the damage, but then he was guaranteed to lose the Shield Maiden if he did that. And he valued the body of the Shield Maiden more than he valued, I guess, his life. A little risky play, but then again, sometimes you just have to take those.
Right, he felt like he has to keep the minion on board, I guess. Because otherwise there's just gonna be a new threat and he didn't really have a way to deal with that. So no matter what minion was getting played next, it would have been dealing some extra damage on his face since he didn't have a way to deal with it. So I think it was a fine play from ShtanUdachi.
Yeah,
it might not be perfect, but it's like you gotta just like place your bets.
I think it was fine, honestly. It's not a play that necessarily won every time, but it's maybe the only play that lets you maybe keep a body on the board to contest what comes next. Yeah, so there's definitely that. So Orange is playing the Control Warrior, so it turns out Patron today doesn't see much play.
Yeah.
Mid-range Demon Bash. Lock? Wait, is that mid-range Demon Lock or the Demon Handlock?
It looks, I think it's a Demon Handlock. Probably Demon Handlock. Oh yeah, definitely Demon.
Wow, I think that's a dead giveaway. Yeah.
That's a sick hand. It's a really good hand for StarSeries right now. Like that's what you want to get, like all those threats. Against Warrior, you don't really care about anything else. In many matchups, Dark Bomb is like the card that you want to get. Dark Bomb is the best card. But against Warrior, you just want to have as many threats as possible. Because Warrior is slow. The Warrior, well, it's a Control Warrior, so there's a lot of tools to deal with these threats. But quite often, like, if you have 4 threats or like 5 threats, if you count the Void Caller as 2 threats, the Warrior simply won't have enough removal for all of them.
Yeah, in this exact case, though, Orange is sitting on a pretty amazing hand. You know, yeah. you look at the Warlock's hand, that is, and you think to yourself, well, that can't be answered, right? Not everything. But Orange has more than everything to answer this.
Oh yeah, that's a great hand against Handlock from Orange. Like that's what you need to do. You need to be able to clear each one of those early threats.
Yep, one at a time, and you can also just play, you know, the Acolyte afterwards. If he goes for Shield Slam, he could play BGH to play a minion. I mean, there's no real reason not to. You're forcing the opponent to maybe slow down.
Yeah, definitely BGH here. And then that's like, do you want to coin out an Acolyte maybe? You probably do.
You're opening yourself up to Hellfire. So maybe there's I mean, there's a reason maybe not to do so. And now ShtanUdachi must be thinking, is it worth it putting the Giant on the board and, you know, going for the Dark Bomb and the BGH, which maybe he would have liked to do, but the problem is that with the Acolyte up, Execute is a threat, because the Acolyte runs itself into the Giant.
I like this from ShtanUdachi. I think it was the strongest play considering the circumstances. The Hellfire, that's not a Hellfire turn. Hellfire is a card that you don't really have to like keep. In some matchups it's like, okay, I need to be smart with my Hellfire, I need to get the maximum value. But against Control Warrior, it's really hard to like get an amazing Hellfire. It's one of those a little bit on the worst side of cards to have.
Yeah.
But still, you know, like he ruins his own turn. Like he cannot play a minion afterwards aside from like the Watcher. So playing a threat of his own and Dark Bombing definitely stronger.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the fact that Hellfire is a weird card against Control Warrior, because I remember when Priest was around, whenever you could get a Holy Nova turn, you just took it. Like if you could kill only 1 minion with it, usually it was fine.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those cards.
It's pretty interesting. I think in this matchup, you really want to get the max value. But against Paladin, let's say you just want to hold on to it as long as you can, unless you have 2 or like 2 and Shadow Flame or something.
It's unbelievable the amount of removal that Orange is sitting on. I mean, if he picks up another Shield Slam here, this is going to be just a complete blowout as far as the answering threats. But I like ShtanUdachi's hand as well. I mean, as much as his stuff has been removed, he's got a Doomguard left, he's got his Twilight Drake, a Dr. Boom on the back end. That's really dangerous.
Like, Orange has done an amazing job to keep clearing stuff, but the threats just keep coming. Like it's endless wave of threats here.
Yeah.
The Dr. Boom maybe opens him up to a brawl pretty bad, but I think you still go for it.
Yeah, the threat of brawl is pretty big, knowing that a lot of people nowadays play 2, since they expect a lot of Secret Paladin and they expect some Patron. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people in the tournament that brought Control Warrior ended up bringing 2 brawls in it.
Yeah, I agree. It's like it's between 1 and 2. You obviously always on 1. It's just that swing thing. It's what allows you to. Because the Warrior struggles with the card draw, and the Brawl is where you can kind of make up for the cards that your opponent is drawing and you are not, because you can so easily get like a 3-for-1 with it.
Right,
So
you negate the card
accounts
advantage on the board.
Even though it's situational, the play style of Control Warrior encourages to go into the late game, and and in the late game it's just you will find an opportunity to cast it.
Alright, so Orange, without a brawl, I mean, he still has to make do with this. He might just execute again and face tank another 7. That's a lot of face tank damage, though, but...
It is, but he does have the...
Oh, that's even better. Never mind. Bash is just so much better. Yeah, no question about that. Now, I think ShtanUdachi might just want to not get the Doomguard, I mean, the Jiraxxus out of this. Is it that important for him to get the Jiraxxus later in the game?
I'm trying to think if he could just like play the Jiraxxus from his hand right now. But,
I mean, could you get? Why not? Right? Is there a reason not to? Since you've got all the. I mean, Molten Giant. Oh, that sucks.
Molten Giants are dead after that, and there could be a Harrison Jones which would let the warrior kind of fill up on cards. So I guess you don't do it, but it sucks so much if you pull it from the Doom God. I mean, from the Void Caller. I mean, it's like you don't want the Jiraxxus on board. And you want the Doom card on board. I actually think it makes a lot of sense to just play it here.
Yeah, because you're guaranteed to get a Doom Guard afterwards, right?
Yeah.
You're guaranteed to get it.
You guarantee the Doom Guard, and you guarantee to get the Jiraxxus to replace your hero over getting it on the board. You really don't want it on the board, so I like it. I like it.
Yeah, what's cool as well is that you're guaranteed 6/6s for the rest of the game, and you've already seen, 1 Shield Slam, 1 Execute, and your Dr. Boom didn't get Brawl, so those 6/6s are pretty likely to stick around and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and what's also key is that he does have a Defender of Argus in his hand, because if there was no taunts, like, imagine Death Spite goes to your face right now, you're just like, okay, if he has the Chrome, I'm dead. But with the Defender, you know that you at least can buy another turn.
Yeah, a lot of turns, actually. Like, you consider the Ancient Watchers that could tank one, you got the Infernal, also it gives him a 7/7, you've seen BGH already, so not too much of a worry. However... This Ragnaros pickup, would you play Ragnaros here?
So good, it's so good right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how good it is. There's actually no good way for ShtanUdachi to deal with it. Even if it goes face, there's no healing available.
Yeah, but Orange, I mean, if BGH hits, then it kind of sucks, since your follow-ups are kind of mediocre.
But I think you just go over it. Like the worst case scenario is that it hits face and then there's something like Big Game Hunter heal bot. But I think you cannot wait too long. With that Jiraxxus on the board, with those Infernals coming every single turn, you kind of have to take some chances.
Yeah, and he didn't get punished too much here. Took out the Doom Guard, and he's going to put ShtanUdachi on a back foot, which is exactly where he wants to put him.
Oh man, ShtanUdachi with no way to remove that Ragnaros right now. Orange is going to be really happy to see that it's going to stick around.
Yeah, put everything on the board and hope everything works out. I mean, he does have a lot of damage next turn, right? So we're looking at another 3, so 17. So he's going to have a total of 14, 15 damage from hand, from the board. That's a lot of damage for ShtanUdachi.
Ah.
Yeah, Orange picking up that Shield Slam, though.
But he doesn't have the armor to use it yet. He could go with Justicar and like armor up, shield some, but the 4 doesn't actually accomplish anything at all.
Yeah, you'd have to Shield Slam execute on 1 minion. That just can't feel good at all.
Right.
So maybe playing more of a mid-range play, getting your Death Spite out and doing something with it would be better.
Yeah, I kind of like the Death Spite thing. He has the opportunity to get the Death Spite out here, so he should take it. It's a tough turn though. This Ragnaros hit is going to be so important. If he takes out the Watcher, that's completely useless. But if he takes out something like the Infernal, okay.
I'm liking this play from Orange, just punching face and actually forcing his opponent to answer the board. And now he's out of reach of what he thought could look like a lethal based on the damage that might come out.
Yeah, let's see what it hits.
Oh, sick outcome. Yeah, that enables a Watcher. That's one thing.
My. Was that lethal if he didn't hit the Infernal with like Owl Defender? I guess it's kind of irrelevant. Owl would have been 4.
It would have been lethal, yes, if he didn't armor up with Justicar.
If it didn't face or into one of the Watchers, because there would have been 13 plus.
But it's still very dangerous though for Orange. I mean, he can. Okay, can he get guaranteed lethal next turn? So he's got a Shield Slam. He's got the Execute. Only 4 armor out of the Shield Slam.
I don't know.
I don't know about this, man. This is looking super dangerous for him. Execute the Drake.
It's tricky. And that's like, if you play the Geron, the Dragon's is gonna fire first, and that's also a problem, because it might just like hit an Owl or the Drake, which would have died to the Geron anyway.
Yeah, I think he's forced to armor up every turn. I mean, you could shield slam the 2-3, or the 5-6 at silence and finish it off with your weapon, and then execute the Drake. That narrows the amount of targets that are there, and then you can maybe play your armor smiths.
Right.
And hope that they... Oh, wow, he's just gonna go for the Geddon.
Okay.
Good enough.
Oh, another big Ragnar's moment.
Wow, that is insane.
It's like, yeah.
This Ragnaros is so MVP.
That was pretty good. I mean, it was the Watcher, which was not silenced, so it was the least valuable one. But still, there was 3 targets that would have been completely useless hits, basically. Because he could have hit those minions that were dying to get on anyway, so... Above average, I guess.
Do you ever... Like, you have to kill Rag? Because the problem, if you do, you can coil it. Of course, you know, with the Watcher, you attack and then you coil.
Yeah.
But that Baron Geddon is a really big threat. So maybe you value that 5-4. But you haven't seen the second execute. Can you really play around it, though? The Warrior has drawn very little. You've already seen 1 execute, 2 slams. Oh, man, it's kind of scary.
Yes, he can heal up a little bit. So. But you also want to Infernal everything. It's a bit tricky, because like Hellfire heal bot, Infernal would be good, but...
Wait, he can go for Hellfire, Coil, heal bot. He'll be at full health at, well, yeah, almost. So you attack into the 7-5 with the 2-1, and then you attack Rag with the Watcher, and then you heal bot, Hellfire, well, you Hellfire heal bot.
Oh, man.
He's still in this.
Wow, but the Orange has chance for the lethal here.
Yeah, there's a 25% shot.
Roll! But it's not even good. Just have to do it.
Yeah, is the question, right? Is it worth playing? Because how do you win if you brawl? You really need that Rag to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So you execute the Watcher. You attack into the. I don't. It doesn't really matter. You attack into a 2-1 of sorts. Then you attack face with Baron Geddon and you go for the 25%. Or is that too risky? Because then you're dead.
I think it might be fine. It was like Infernal might result in him winning anyway, right? Because with armor he gets extra 4. But is it enough? Like, would he still die? Because then there would be 2 attack minions.
He's just gonna go for the brawl. It looks like a brawl. Looks like a Kit Kat's brawl to me.
No, he can't win if he brawls. I don't think you can brawl here. No way you can brawl. Okay, he's gonna take that.
He's making the trades. He's just playing it a little bit slower, and it's a pretty good play because it keeps him in the game for a longer time.
I mean, he's seen it now multiple times that the Warlock does not have an answer to the Ragnar, so this does make sense. Oh, but there is the answer. Oh, just like that, this game is about to swing around completely.
So do you attack an Armor Smith and then coil it to see what you get? I guess you kind of have to, right?
That seems pretty good.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. You're giving the Warrior a lot of armor, but you've seen all his removal. He's got nothing.
No, it doesn't matter to give the Warrior armor at this point, I think.
Yeah, you're just looking to get the board and keep this.
Orange not happy to see that one. Rack did fire quite a few times, but it didn't do enough for him to be winning the game.
Yeah, I'm happy that ShtanUdachi saw the... Oh my goodness. I was gonna say, I'm happy that he saw the value in dropping Jaraxxus early, where some people might hold on to it for, you know, a very critical situation.
It was a great play from ShtanUdachi, just go for the Jaraxxus. But now, Orange with the Harrison Jones. Let's see. This brawl just might, like, decide the winner. Oh, baby. Any predictions? Does Armorsmith always win brawl?
No, 6-6 wins brawl.
6-6 wins brawl?
Yeah, of course.
That's pretty grim for Orange fans. I mean, it's the biggest thing. I think the Owl is, like, gonna hoot the other ones out of the thing.
No, the Owl might just die to the Armorsmith.
Why would you kill it? I think, like, Owl winning is a good result, kind of. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if you kill it, you reduce the chances that something small stays up.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if the 6-6 stays up or if the Armorsmith always wins. Oh, well, it turns out it's the Owl.
It is the Owl!
That was the beach with the calls. Oh, that guy hooted everybody out of the field. Yeah, that's the same reason Bolvar 4-Dragon just kind of left. It was an Owl, like, just lying around. He's like, never mind, I'm out of here.
Wow. Oh, can you Varian here? I don't think you can. I mean...
The armor's too good.
No way you can Varian. No way. Because like, if you Varian, you're dead to 3 damage, and there's so many things that deal 3. Like the Hellfire.
Death's Bite with Sylvanas could also work out, because you pressure lethal.
Oh, he's dead if he does that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, he's got 4 armor on top of this.
Okay, Acolyte, right. Acolyte and armor. Okay.
Yeah, definitely less scary.
Oh yeah.
But he could pick up another... Oh, wow. Whoa.
Well, was that too weak? Because he doesn't have the follow-up to the Death's Bite just yet. Because he could have also played Dr. Boom.
Honestly...
Like, the Dr. Boom would have given him stronger board position. If he had a Grom in his hand, I would absolutely understand this. But
no, I think the Dr. Boom actually counts as a hand, because it triggers Boom Boss, right? So that could be the win, I guess.
But you need to roll 5 though, and how do you get 5? It's pretty tough. Because even you need both of the Boom Bots to not only go face, but to like roll decent amounts of damage.
Wow.
Well, this could be it, but...
The moment of truth. Does Varian do it? I mean, if he gets Grom outside, Orange can win it.
I missed that. Okay, so he's banking on getting the Grom from...
And he finds it right off the top of the Acolyte. No Varian red, unfortunately.
He had to go for the Variant to get it.
This would have been so much cooler if it was off a Variant. But anyway, Orange picks up the win against the Handlock from ShtanUdachi. And I think that seals it, right? He just won 3 games very convincingly and very quickly.
That's actually a really cool play. Sap Savage. I didn't even get that he was trying to pull the Grom from the Variant. That's brilliant. I don't know how many cards he had remaining in his deck, but it was not many because he drew extras.
Yeah, about 7, I think.
Yeah,
6, 7.
So if it was like 7 cards, he drawing 1 from the Acolyte, drawing 3 from the Variant, like that's 50-50. Better than 50-50 actually.
Yeah.
With 7 cards.
So, well played by Orange here. Is going to take the first match of the day. I mean, the games were quick, convincingly quick. Usually you see the games drag on a bit more because I guess Patron, sees a lot of play. So you tend to have games that last a long time since people draw through their entire deck. So that means Orange will be moving on to the winner's match, and ShtanUdachi will have a chance of getting out of the loser's bracket if he wins against the next loser, which is going to be either Dog or Forsen. They're going to be playing off against each other. Their lineups are kind of interesting. Again, no hunters from either player, and I'm pretty eager to see who wins this one.
Oh yeah.
Any predictions?
Any predictions? No, not really. I mean, both of them are amazing. So I don't know. I can't pick a favorite here. Dog has been on fire, like finishing 2nd place in DreamHack Summer. Well, it was quite a while ago, but like overall, really strong performances from him. Also in the HBL, and Forsen, he won a tournament. I can't remember which tournament it was, but it wasn't that long ago. And
I'm sure Twitch chat knows. I'm sure Twitch chat knows who won, which tournament Forsen won.
I get a little bit confused sometimes with like the online cups, like what's named what, even though I like watch most of them, but it's okay.
Yeah, I watch more than I play. It's kind of weird. All right, well, we'll take a 10-minute break, guys, and we'll be back with Dog versus Forsen for the ultimate Clown Fiesta battle. Don't go anywhere.